Hi guys, it's Jay here. Today we're going to be discussing the Leopard 1 Tier 10 German medium tank. So today I'm going to be going through the tank's statistics and how it plays like in games and how best to play it, without going into so much board detail of other people's videos. So we'll get to gameplay as soon as possible. So let's get started. So the Leopard 1's biggest weapon is its speed. It can reach up to 65 km per hour on flat surfaces, so no need to go down hills. It's also got a traverse speed of 54 degrees a second and with a chill traverse of 36 degrees a second, which means it can rapidly turn around and head the other way if need be, and it only weighs 40 tons. With only weighing 40 tons means it's not really good for ramming, so try not to ram in it, just run away please. Also, it has a view range of 410 metres, which is common for tier 10 tanks, so there's nothing special there, and it's got a signal range of 750 metres. So it's a really good passive scout, so sit in the bush, spot the enemy team, lay a couple of shots in, turn around and get out of there, as simple as that. Now, with all this manoeuvrability, there's of course one major drawback, which is this armour. Now, it's paper thin. You could call it a glass cannon, let's say, because it only has 70mm to the front, 35 at the side, and 25 at the rear. So you really don't want to stay stationary too long in this tank unless you're not getting spotted or you're in cover, because you do not want to be shot in this tank because anything will go through it. Now, according to Tank Inspector, its frontal armour is 90mm at best at angle of 45 degrees. So you could bounce this tank if it's angled at, I say, an angle like this and it's hitting at a funny angle, then it will bounce. But I would think at tier 10 most tanks have well over 90mm of penetration, so they'll cut through that like hot butter. Now, the best thing to do against the Leopard 1 or Leopard PT if you do fight it, shoot Hesh in its side or its rear or even in its lower hull, because you will pen it. Most HE and Hesh has more than 50mm of penetration, so if you hit it right, you should go right through. A hot knife through butter. So try not to stay stationary, otherwise you will regret it. Your engine will be knocked down, so you'll be set on fire, and ammo racked. A classic German trait, of course. Now, one of the other parts of armour we should talk about is its turret. Now, it does have really good gun depression. Really good, as you will see in one of my videos soon. But the only major drawback is, normally with anything with really good gun depression, means it's got something, a very good gun mantlet to stop the rounds. Now, it does look a quite thick gun mantlet. Now, according to Tank Inspector, that part, the gun mantlet itself, is worth 74mm worth of spaced armour. And then of course there's a space, and then the frontal hull is only 52mm thick. So, for instance, in a couple of my games, if you're poking over against a Jagged E100, it'll cut through easily. An E5, it'll go through. Majority of the time, they don't bounce off the gun mantlet. So what you want to do is just poke over the hill, shoot, use your gun depression, and pull back, get out of there quick. Never stay stationary, because Arty love these tanks, because you are a massive threat to Arty, because you could break through their lines and go after them instantly. So don't rely on none of its tank's armour. It has none. You will get the rare occasions where you will bounce, but don't rely on it, please. Just use your speed and gun. Now let's get down to the business end. The gun. I keep mentioning it, so let's talk about it. So the gun it has is the classic 105mm, right? So the specs on it are really good compared to the other 105s and other mediums. E.g., we've got a fantastic fire rate at 6.67, average penetration on standard APCR rounds at 268. With its heat it shoots, it's got 330, which only work well on flat surfaces, with an average damage of 390 on both of them, and the HE is only 53 with 480 average damage if it penetrates. Accuracy is extremely good at 0.30. Aiming time is superb at 1.9. So the gun is amazing. It really is. The gun's one of the better halves of the 105s. It's honestly, it's really good. And the ammo selection you can have is great. The APCR, because it's APCR ammo, people think it's gold, but it's not. It's just it's standard ammo. Its gold ammo is the heat. Now, the heat works well against flat surfaces, so does HE, but HE is good for resetting caps. So shooting a cap, shooting the tracks, and shooting inside of them, and it will do some sort of splash damage, and then it will reset the cap. Good. The high explosive anti-tank is extremely good against, for instance, the Uesfull track, the Uesfull E100, the tier 10 German rotatable turret tank, because you will blow the gun away with that. And the APCR standard ammo, because it's APCR composite rigid, it's got a higher round velocity, which gives it that great penetration. So the ammo selection, you spoil for choice. I tend to go for 46 of standard ammo, 7 heat and 7 HE, because you can hold up to 60 shots in this. Consumables is pretty much wherever you want the standard. You got automatic fire extinguisher, small repair kit of course, and first aid kit, the usual. I always use automatic because I don't want my tank getting set on fire. I've bought 20 freedoms, so I've got loads. Now, the final part, before we get to some action, is the equipment types we like to use. Now, I like to use vertical stab. Because it's so quick and manoeuvrable, you're going to be continuously moving. Having a vertical stabilizer reduces your aim reticle by 20%, so of course you're more accurate when you're moving. Now, the next one, of course, is good old faithful gun rammer. Now, what this allows you to do is load 10% quicker, faster fire rate, a good thing always to have. Now, the third perk, you can have quite a lot, really. I mean, the tank does get ammo rack quite a lot. You do tend to get shot by HE a lot, so the sports line is really good. But you can never go wrong with having the ventilation because it gives you a 5% benefit to all crew skills. Faster reload, faster than physical speed, better anything, repairs, you name it, it's better. So I tend to rock out them three because I think they are the best combination for this tank. But hey, experiments, you never know. But I would say as a must, stab and gun rammer is essential. Ventilation tend to have on whatever tank, so I can mount it on because it purely benefits the tank in every way possible. Okay, so let's get to some action now. Right guys, we're finally ready for some action after all that stat stuff. Now, I'm currently platooned up with one of my clan members, Kruger, and they're also teamed up with one of my good old friends, Dino. And he's currently in his IS-7 and Kruger's in the good old T110E5. Now, in this sort of map, the Leopard, it's quite different to play because it's hard to position yourself. Now, I'll normally suggest you to go down the J1, 2, 3, 4, 5 line and help support your tanks there because this tank works best as a supporting vehicle. Now, oops, a little bit of a glitch there. Sorry about that, Mr. T54. I'll pay for that scratch. Now, as you can see, yeah, it's a ST1's a little bit excitable there. Now, we've got the T71 running across the bridge to do some quick early spots. Now, we've got a problem going down there into the mountain pass. It's empty. It's empty. Now, we can do one or two things. Now, I don't really work well in frontal assaults, so me going down there is really not a good idea. Now, because there's a lot of my team here, I want to go over to the bridge and go and support the FV 215B183 because he's going to run into some problems by himself. Now, where the E5 is down there, they haven't spotted nothing yet, so by the looks of it, they're probably not going to bump into anything that heavy because the two jiggy tiggies are across the bridge, and there's one of the IS-7s going to the corner. And of course, was there. Dino took him out. The WZ-131's now obliterated. Now, the E3's been spotted. Now, the E3, alongside the E4 and E5, the difference between them is E3 is the non-turreted TD, the E4 is the turreted TD, which only has 180-degree turret traverse, and the E5 is the heavy tank. And the E3 has monstrously good armour. But with a T110 E5 shooting at it, I think as long as the T110 knows where to shoot, he'll do well there. Now, as you can see in the J2 area, conflict started. So Kruger is now engaged in them tanks in his 110. I've just been spotted by them TDs. I don't want to stay still, but for some reason I do. I should maybe pull back. Dino's still in the same position as last time, providing some overwatch for the ST1, which is quite strangely enough just going full retard through the middle, but we'll let him do that. Now, an IS-8's been spotted down here, so that's 3 Tier 9 tanks going down this road, which is good. They're here, not where they should be, let's say. I just took 2 monstrous hits from the IS-8, and there's also a waffle tractor Alpha Panzer down here, so I want to get out of there now. I'm pointless. I'm just going to get shot again. As you can see, where these shots hit, both of them in the side, no problems penning. So I'll rely on that. Now, as you can see, I'm hitting 65 now on flat ground, so it's great for manoeuvrability. ST1 still tangoing over there with the IS-7. Now, this is an awkward position. Now, the E100 has the derp gun, and he is sitting out in the open, so it is extremely tempted just to go out and try and get a shot, but on the current shot now, I've only got a shot at his track, so it's pretty pointless. And I don't really want to expose myself that much because he's got the derp, he's probably shooting the heat. It'll rip this tank to bits. Now, E5 down there is holding all the tanks back quite well. The idiotic Centurion 7/1 is getting in Dino's way, when Dino should be in front and he should be behind because he's got armour. But he doesn't quite understand that. He doesn't look quite happy, does he? I think he's realised that he's not worth the existence no more. Now, there's me little bro, the Leopard PTA over there, getting some cheeky spots in on me. There's not much I can do. Dino's currently saying, get the E100 taken out, but no one's in a physical good position without exposing themselves to get a good shot on him. Now, the IS-4 was on full health, and he's just ventured out like a dingbat. He's now getting wasted, as you can see. It was a quick shot, that wasn't him quite well. Now, 49% health, so I've lost most of my health now. Now, their IS-7's also on full health, who's now pushing across. And the E5, oh, this is getting tough, towards our own E5. Now, because this tank's a great support tank, you need to observe the map and see how the game's going. As you can see, the Valley's doing great. The FV's just died, so we need to think about turning around and going there. Now, I'm getting some cheeky shots in. I'm waiting for the IS-7 to come out of this rock, because it looks like he's just going to keep going. He's not really bothered that there's a Leopard on his flank. He just took a nice juicy shot. E5's just set the E75 on fire. E75's going full retard. IS-7's coming out for another pass. Another lovely high roll. Now, if you look at the map, where the FV died, the IS-8 and one of the Jiggy Tiggies, one of the Jiggy Tiggies is dead, but I'm now turning away and coming over to the fight instead of going across that bridge. And that cost them. If they came up behind me, it's only me here. Now, what I'm currently doing is I'm saying, Dino, we need to turn back because we've lost everyone in Valley now. We need to get RTB and defend base. But Dino's currently having problems with the Centurion. His Centurion's not happy. There's mutiny in the ranks, so Dino's currently killing. As soon as Dino's done missing the Centurion, we're going to get back and go back to the bridge and try and sort something out. I'm going now. There's no point. Now, it's a quite risky remover going out in the open. Oh, there he goes, dead. Oops. A little bit of a ditch there, James. Watch out for next time. Uh-oh. There's all the big tanks. Just went over that. The circle was fully aimed, by the way. I don't know why it's shown it wasn't, but well. Now, I now know that the Jiggy Tiggy has moved, so I'm going to move to the bridge now, alongside with Dino. He's going to come over and help me. Now, the E3, what I was expecting was the E3 to push up the C7, 8, and 9 line. So I was going to go on the bridge and drop down and go behind him, but he gets spotted in a totally different place. We'll see that in a minute. And this is my first actual good game in this tank. I've only had it for a bit. I haven't really played that much in it. Now, as you can see, the E3 is going the totally wrong way. Now, we noticed this. So we, instead of Dino going back to base, he's going to come on the bridge with me and we're going to get some arse shots on the E3. And the E3 is not the most speediest tank, and it's also not got a very good traverse speed, so we probably won't turn around in time. But he keeps plodding along, singing a song. Now, I know that there's no tanks there, so I can confidently expose myself. I've been spotted, that'd be by the E3. There he is. It's really good at quick shooting. It really is, with that 1.7 aiming time, it's really good. And then I plant one last shot in it. Okay, so now we've got them in a choke point. Now, the E5 Kruger is currently by himself. The 140 by looks is going to be going through the centre. Now, Kruger can easily hold back an IS-8. It's not going to advance on a fully healthed E5. Oops, he just took a hit there. But he'll be fine. Now, I know that the Uesfull tractor's around this corner, so I don't want to take the hit first. Now, a quick shoot, totally miss. Now, I'm loading normal APCR rounds. Hit him. Now, I'm saying to Dino, load HE, load HE. Your effort's gone up.
Hey, wake up.
So I'm currently loading HE. Do an absolute low roll, that was pointless. But he doesn't shoot until now, which means he doesn't shoot, which means his gun's damaged. That was Dino missing somehow. As you can see, their team is absolutely livid at their performance. I'm getting our shots in the IS-7. I track him. I thought the IS-7 was turning around to engage me, but no need. And then the IS-8 is stuffed. So their E3's absolutely livid. So a little bit of comedy act going on there. Now I've done just under 3k damage with 1 kill. I'm more of a support tank, so I'm not really expected to get kills. Kruger got 4 kills. The i7 got 1 kill, so we're doing quite well. Now I stopped to let the 140 through because I had a feeling the GW would be shotgun around this corner, but he surprisingly wasn't. He wasn't nowhere to be seen. Now there he is there. The 140 tracks his attention away, allows me to get a cheeky shot into him, and the 140 jumps up and finishes him off. And that's my first good game. Now let's look at the after battle results. Okay, so here's the after battle results. So I got 54k credits, got Confederate, and I got 1.3k with XP untimed. Right, shot a lot of tanks, as you can see, quite good. Team score wise, Dino did 2,500, I did 3,356, and look at that, Kruger with a whopping 6,200 with a potential damage of 6,400. I think Kruger said he had got some really good replays of the T110E5, so there will be a video coming up soon for that. Can't wait to see them videos. Detail report for me personally, so for 3k damage, potential damage 1k, yeah, 857 spot and damage, shots 520, direct hits 13, that's bad. That's a bad ratio. When he hit, receives 2, travelled 3.5 kilometers. It was a good game, made a profit. Tier 10, which is great. So yeah, that concludes this video, guys. If you did like it, don't forget to, of course, like and subscribe. I also stream. The stream link will be in the description below. If you have any feedback for the video, I greatly respect it, good or bad. Just don't be a dick. Otherwise, I'll just laugh at you and call you a dick all your life. If you've got any suggestions for tanks you should do in a future video, drop a comment. And as always, guys, happy tanking, and I'll see you in the battlefield. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Good night.